You all know what just happened within the last couple of hours. Here's the clip.
مقصود لهذا الزميل الصحفي حسام المصري.
لا حصل الآن
نعم.
الآن خليك يا الله، راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس، راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس.
That was the double tap.
استهداف كبير الآن كما تشاهدون في هذه الصورة، تدمير كبير، قصف عنيف جدا.
That was the second strike. There was the first strike, correct, because those were the people that were the rescue workers that were there to help after the first strike, which is what is a common thing. So they wait for the first responders to get there and then they hit it again.
Israeli double strike on Gaza hospital. What we know. Scroll, please. Guess this is, if you scroll up for a second, a man holds the equipment of journalist Hassam al-Masiri, who was filming a live TV feed from Nasir Hospital. And this was just moments before he was, I guess, moments before he was killed. Scroll down. A double Israeli strike on a hospital in Gaza killed 20 people, including journalists and health workers, according to the outlets they work for, the World Health Organization, F them too, and the Hamas-run health ministry. See, you know, the BBC is going to write inflammatory language too. At least one person was killed in an initial strike, and the others in a second attack minutes later, as rescuers and journalists attended the scene at Nasir Hospital in Khan Yunis. The 5 journalists worked for international media outlets, including the Associated Press, Reuters, Al Jazeera, Middle East, and Middle East Eye. I guarantee you the Associated Press will not say jack shit. Later on Monday, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu called the incident a tragic mishap, which Israel deeply regrets, and said military authorities...
Why did you give him that accent? You know, he's from here. Just seriously.
Well, it's a fake accent.
Just don't. You make him sound remotely refined. He's just stop.
And said military authorities were conducting a thorough investigation. Yeah, thorough enough that they dropped a second bomb. While the attack unfolded, the first strike hit around 10 local time, medical staff at Nasir said. So that would be around, that would be 3 o'clock Eastern time. There was mass panic, chaos, said a British medical professional working at the hospital, who was treating patients in the intensive care unit at the time. Approximately 10 minutes later, there was another blast in the same spot, a medical professional said, adding that medical staff has been planning their escape from the building when the second strike hit. The hospital's emergency department, inpatient ward, and surgical unit was hit. According to the WHO, its head, Dr. Tedros Adhanom
Don't even.
Ghebreyesus, I think I did okay.
Ghebreyesus.
In me. Said the emergency
maybe Ghebreyesus. All right, never mind.
Said all the emergency staircase was also damaged. BBC Verify has seen footage to confirm these timings. A live stream by Al Gad TV shows several emergency workers responding to the first strike near the top floor of Nasir Hospital, as a number of journalists in the background film what's happening. A staircase where journalists often gather to broadcast from is visible in the video. A strike then directly hits the emergency workers and reporters, sending smoke and rubble in the air. At least one body is visible in the aftermath. A separate video filmed from the same staircase shows the aftermath of the strike. Bodies can be seen on the staircase as medics respond to the attack. Boy, imagine going through a double tap and then still having people go in there to try to help them. I mean, again, it's like Abby Martin says, if you are courageous enough to be a journalist in Israel right now, especially Gaza, you basically have a death sentence. But that's what true courage under fire really looks like. The British medical professional described seeing trails of blood all over the floor and absolute scenes of chaos, disbelief, and fear. Well, at least it wasn't children, am I right? The victims, identities of the slain journalists have been confirmed, but we know little about other fatalities. The Hamas run, again, with fuck the BBC, with this, the Hamas run health ministry.
Yeah. So up until that, they've done pretty good with this story.
Well, they have to cover their ass.
That hasn't created it before. This is actually this was done pretty well up until this. So yeah.
Hussam al-Masri worked as a cameraman for Reuters. The news agency reported he was killed in a first strike on the hospital while again. Let's just kind of get this out of the way. Remember when they said they weren't bombing hospitals?
Right.
That was all Hamas, that were all just nuts, and that there was no way they were doing such a thing? Now they are doing it, and they're still doing it. And for what? Was Hamas there when they should
have bombed every single hospital in Gaza multiple times over. Hi, Mohammed. That is my favorite. That is my favorite Muslim name. It is
it's definitely Bill Maher's least favorite. So you definitely have more reason to like it now.
Well, you know why. So as somebody who has run for Congress, you know, you meet a lot of people and you got to remember a lot of names, and it's not always easy. And as somebody who is a Jennifer and from the 70s where there were like tons of us around, right, a million of us. So to me, Muhammad is kind of like, I don't know, a Jennifer type or John type of name in among the Muslim community, but it makes it very convenient because I feel like I can always remember a Muhammad.
You know, I just realized something. Metal hasn't been with us since we started taking off. So he's in for a whole new world of how big of an audience he's dealing with.
Oh, but he'll find a lot more compatriots.
Yeah, some of his compatriots will be there.
He'll find some of his compatriots in there.
The news agency reported he was killed in the first strike of the hospital while operating a live TV feed for Reuters. News organizations around the world, including the BBC, have used footage he has taken. Well, he'll always be remembered as filming himself.
Well, that's why these people have targets. They have been systematically eliminating any potential information getting out. So all the people that they know that are putting out information have been specifically targeted.
Mariam Daga, 33, was a freelance journalist working with the AP who said she regularly reported from the hospital. One of AP's regional editors, Abby Sewell, said Daga leaves behind a son who was evacuated from Gaza earlier in the war.
That's somebody who is brave as I can't even fathom. I cannot. Seriously, that's somebody who is like that. This is hero shit.
Love that profile picture, Whiskas.
Oh, love to the UK.
Mohammed Salama worked from Al Jazeera and Middle East Eye. Salama was planning his wedding to another journalist, Hala Asafur, not anymore, with the pair hoping to wed after a ceasefire, not happening, according to Al Jazeera. Ahmed Abu Aziz worked for Middle East Eye, according to its own reporting. The outlet says he worked on a freelance basis and was based in Khan Yunis. And Moz Abu Taha worked with various outlets, including the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, just a fortnight ago, filming a video call with journalists that showed children suffering from malnutrition at Nasir. Reuters said they occasionally published work by him.
Oh my goodness. Look at, I just can't.
That's Hamas right there, Jen. Don't forget it.
I'm just.
Israel is going down.
You know what I think? I think that somewhere in the future, and I hope that it happens before I die, there will be monuments built for these people. And the people that are doing this, hopefully, will get Mussolini'd. That's what I'm working in my mind. Like, that's what I'd like to see. I am just.
Israel does not allow international news organizations, including the BBC, into Gaza to report freely. Local reporters are relied upon to provide info to the world's media agencies. Again, propaganda. The Committee to Protect Journalists, or the CPJ, says more than 190 journalists have been killed in 22 months of genocide.
More than 200. It's more than 200. It is.
The vast majority Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks. 2 weeks ago, Israel killed 6 journalists in a targeted attack on one of them near Shifa Hospital in Gaza City, drawing outrage.
Okay.
What does Israel have to say for themselves? The IDF initially confirmed it carried out a strike in the area of Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza.
In the area.
We know how wide that can be. Throughout the day, Israeli officials issued multiple statements with little info in them, indicating a lack of clarity within the military about the attack, but designed to address widespread outrage. On Monday evening, Prime Minister Shitbag office said Israel deeply regrets the tragic mishap that occurred today at the Nasser Hospital in Gaza, adding that Israel values the work of journalists, except for over 200 of them.
You're making him sound dignified. You have to stop giving him a voice.
I'm not giving him any voice.
No. You almost slipped into what sounded like your Connery for a second with that. Don't. You're making him sound like a statesman. He's a fucking mass murderer.
I will never let him sound like a statesman. He's a terrible person.
Don't make him sound like a statesman.
I didn't. Stop it already.
It bothers me.
I know it does. Stop taking it out on me. Values the work of journalists, medical staff, and all civilians, and saying the military was conducting a thorough investigation. We investigated ourselves and found out we did nothing wrong. However, the statement does little to address the apparent double tap nature of the attack. The fact that most of those who were killed were struck by the second attack at precisely the same location around 10 minutes later appears clearly intentional. Double taps are a controversial military tactic that are designed to maximize casualties by firing on those who respond to the scene of a first attack. Statements from media organizations, including the Foreign Press Association in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories, or at least they were willing to say occupied Palestinian territories, accused the Israeli military of a pattern of intentionally targeting journalists throughout the genocide. It is unclear if and when Israel will publish results of the internal inquiry it says it has begun.
Like, can we skip that part? Because does anybody for a second gonna like Israel? You know they're lying when their lips are moving, and that's just stupid. Is anybody going to believe whatever the results of their investigation show? I mean,
I would hope not.
Right. So it does not matter what the results of their investigation. Nobody cares.
UN Security General Antonio Guterres strongly condemned the horrific killings at Nasser Hospital, which he said highlight the extreme risks that medical personnel and journalists face as they carry out their vital role in this brutal conflict, and called for a prompt and impartial investigation. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy said he was horrified and called for an immediate ceasefire. French President Emmanuel Macron called the strikes intolerable and said civilians and journalists must be protected. Yeah, I've been saying it for 2 years. Nothing changes. He renewed the call for humanitarian aid to be allowed inside Gaza for Israel to respect international law. Germany's Foreign Office said it was shocked. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said he was unaware of the strikes, but when asked for his reaction, he said he was totally not happy about it. Media freedom groups also issued condemnation. When and where is it going to end? There is international law, except for us and Israel. There are guarantees that should be granted to journalists covering conflicts, and none of that seems to be applying. Well, you think?
But notice how you have not seen our mainstream media, quote unquote, I hate to say journalists, because they're not journalists, they're just talking heads, but they have been very quiet on all of the feelings of press. This has been going on for almost 2 years. Actually, no, it's been going on before that.
Oh, yeah.
When they killed Shireen, and there have been multiple press people that have been killed prior to October 7th, 23. This is what they do. This is how they think by doing this, we won't be able to see what they're doing. And it's not working.
This was just a situation that was just too obvious and in your face where it could not be ignored. And as it is concluded, the Committee to Protect Journalists said the Israel's broadcasted killing of journalists in Gaza continues while the world watches and fails to act firmly.
Yes.
It's true.
I'm so angry. But you somehow were intimating to me earlier that you think that, oh, now we have them caught right directly on camera. We've been watching all of this directly for almost 2 years.
Well,
and the most disgusting thing that I could ever think of happens. And I think, well, that's got to be the low. But
Colin,
no,
Colin, pull up the tweet, please.
There, I don't know that I don't know why I actually thought when they killed the World Central Kitchen workers that might have, at that point in this might have done. And no. And now you still have Jose Andres out there, trying to help by giving food, but it just went completely untalked about. Why is this different?
Israel deeply regrets the tragic mishap that occurred today at Nasser Hospital in Gaza. Israel values the work of journalists, medical staff, and all civilians.
As long as they're Jewish.
As long, you can put that in there.
As long as they're Jewish.
And conducting a thorough investigation. Our war is with Hamas terrorists. Our just goals are defeating Hamas and bringing our hostages home.
Yeah. Like you care about your hostages that are being starved to death.
Now, if you scroll down and you see some of the comments, because he got ratioed straight to hell, which of course should not come as no
nobody
surprise.
believes this shit anymore. Nobody believes this. Yeah.
Perfect, Lisa. If you do it once, it's a mistake. When you do it 3 times, it's policy. And when you do it hundreds of times, it's genocide.
Exactly. And yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Lisa, she's good. I think she's very profound.
Yeah. If you keep going, you'll see. No one is supporting this.
No.
Nobody. Across the board. Oh, Jimmy, he shows up.
Jimmy.
Nope. Yeah.
Whoops, we murdered a
innocent people again.
It's terrible. It's true.
He's going to have fun with that. That Jimmy's going to have fun with that with his stand-up routine.
I know, but it's like Obama where he's like, yeah, we
don't need to see this again. Keep going.
We bombed some folks. We bombed
some folks. We droned some folks.
We droned some folks. Oh, Larry.
Can we get the audio of Larry, or is that not possible?
No, I don't think we can we? No, I don't think we can.
I can't. I just have to reshare this window.
No, we don't need any particular audio.
Sorry.
He's getting nobody. I haven't seen any supportive Nettie hoo comments. Yeah.
Blakely, they're all again, it's all the same, and this is why.
Right. Nobody believes a word coming out of his mouth, nor should they ever.
No.